It's a huge, huge welcome to you, sir. Viswanathan Anand, world champion, India's first grandmaster, and the greatest Indian chess player ever born. It's such a pleasure to see you on Zoom. I wish this interview was live, but thankfully that you have agreed to be interviewed by the Tribune, the North India's biggest daily. And I'm totally hooked on to your game, sir. To your book and of course your
Thank
game.
you.
I'm sorry, I'm super excited. I've never been this excited in an interview.
Thank you.
I am a chess player. I've started in 89, 90. And you talked about Russian books, and I used to get Russian books from library. But you players like me for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like I'm nothing there. Brilliant books, sir. Brilliant, brilliant book. A must for students. So my first
Thank you.
question is, what inspired you to write this book?
Right. So the stories are, uh, I think, rewritten to make it more relevant to connect to the younger audience. That's what we had in mind. Um, Mindmaster followed a certain kind of script, but here we tried to make the chapters a bit shorter, um, and really talk what was it like growing up. If someone reads this book, it's not that they're going to find answers, but I'd like them to think, Anand also faced the same situation. Let's see how he dealt with it. That's the kind of book we wrote. And yes, and we thought the takeaways are, 64 chapters. So I thought the takeaways are easier to understand and so on.
Yes, sir. Actually, that 64 is something very amazing. 64 squares of chessboard and 64 lessons. And these are life lessons. These are lessons which you don't get from others. These are lessons which you learn from life. And you have done a great human service to youngsters by, writing this book and giving them these lessons. Please tell us the story about how you were named the Lightning Kid. That is the title of this book.
Right. So I was generally very famous in the club, in the cultures club. And, this is the days before increments and all that. But we played 5-minute games. And there was this circle. So maybe 10 or 12 people playing on that board. Two people would play, the winner could stay, the loser got up and got in the queue to play again, this sort of thing. And I, this also developed my habit of playing quite fast. But I think I was, as a child, generally quite eager to make a move and find out what was the result. Um, at that stage, I think um, it was better not to try to focus on improving that or refining that, but just to be yourself and enjoy the game. That's what my father told me. He said, this is you. If you like playing fast, just play like that. Um, and then at some point, one of the people who had founded the Cultures Club as well, a man called Mr. Kameshwaran, was writing an article for a newspaper, and I think he tried to come up with some, funky nicknames for us, and he came up with Lightning Kid for me, and the name stuck.
Sorry, yes. And sir, yes, you talked about this book and the 64 lessons. The language is so easy that even, young 10-year-old can pick and start reading and he can pick so many gems. Sir, you talked about the role of Manuel Aron and you talked about the role of your mother. And you talked about how fate also helped in when you moved to Manila, Philippines. So, how do you see the role of your mother and this small, twerk of fate where you went to Manila and there was more chess there and you went to that place where the world champion played once. You had those memories and you returned to that hall to win a tournament.
Yes, I think there are nice things, but as they say, the nice things happen to people who are trying all the time. So my mother was trying everywhere. The moment they found out there was a chess club, my mother came with me, got me into the chess club. There was a man called Mr. Kesavan, um, and he agreed to kind of keep an eye on me. Because after all, I was 6 or 7, so my mother wanted to make sure. And then my father happened to get this assignment in the Philippines, where chess was incredibly popular. And but I remember the story I mentioned that my mother just called Eugene Torre, looked at his number in a phone directory and just called him. Uh, this, would be the equivalent of I don't know, being in Brazil and just calling Pele or something. And she asked, and his brother answered and said, "Okay, I know. I think you're looking for my brother, but I can tell you where to find some chess. There's a good tournament happening now. Why don't you take your son there?" And so my mother really played a very, very big role in my chess. She was very involved. She spent a lot of time. She accompanied me everywhere, and all those things made a big difference.
So that was a fascinating investigation carried out by your mother. I'm a crime reporter also, apart from writing on
Uh-huh.
chess. And even that was a kind of labor we journalists do to find some subject. Sir, how should parents, because it's the role of parents which is big. You see the life stories of various any champions of any sports. It's the parents who do a lot of sacrifice and they inspire. So, my two questions around parents are what should they get from your book? How should they read your book?
I think every parent has this uncertainty. You want to encourage your child to do something, but you don't know in advance what your child is going to be good at or even interested in. So my parents, I don't think they had a sense that I was going to be interested in chess. But there was a chessboard lying around the house.
Okay.
So eventually I found my way to the chessboard. I tried to understand what is this game. Then my mother taught me the rules. And at each stage, she responded to uh, some signs that I was showing. I continue to think that what I feel I learned from my parents and I try to follow with my son is that you give them every opportunity to be interested in something. You expose them to many, many things. That's what life taught us. But then they have to decide which one they're going to follow and what fascinates them. So it's a combination. I think you cannot. It's the same thing with things like discipline and hard work and focus. Uh, you can mention these to your child and say at some point this will get hard. You'll have to do this. That's all very fine. But you have to make sure that they genuinely enjoy what they're doing, and you have to respect that. And if they want to do something, you have to step back. So it's a delicate balancing act. You both want to uh, pass on whatever tips and suggestions you have, but from the fact that my parents that I ended up as a chess player, I think my parents left that decision to me also. So in the sense, they respected my decision to go and learn this way. Nothing about chess was that certain in those days, and even sport in India was a very different kind of environment.
Yes.
So, but they just felt okay if my son is so much in love with chess, let's see where this goes, and they were very supportive, and that matters a lot.
Yeah, so they were pioneers, at a time when no one was talking about chess. So I've seen that, when we participate in chess tournaments here, we see that parents lose patience before the children. So, so how should, they have this patience? And sir, is it very important that you have to spend 8 to 10 hours a day for chess? That's what all the champions tell in their books I read that, 8 to 10 hours of practice.
8 to 10 hours comes at a very advanced stage. I mean, you don't have to do it in the beginning, but I think a mixture of practice. So I would voluntarily spend several hours. As I mentioned, on Sundays, I used to spend close to 5, 6 hours in the chess club playing chess. Other days, I would go for 2 or 3 hours. Um, so we're talking 3 days a week. Um, Sunday, I could prepare by finishing all my homework on Saturday, so I had the day free for this. I found a balance, and I think uh, that's one thing that's worth keeping in mind. Again, the situation with jobs and things like that from 40 years ago is different from today, so you cannot compare directly.
Mhm.
But you want to make sure that you have multiple interests these days, just like in those days. We all need hobbies and interests to get through life. um, Keep your options open and then just work hard. I think it's good to work. the way you want to work. So yeah, I wanted to play a lot of games, and that was the right way for me. If you prefer studying, that's another way for you. You have to find your own personal way of working.
Yes, sir. Sir, I read somewhere that Kapil Dev said that, the talent is only 2% and 98% is hard work. How do you relate to that statement, sir?
I pretty much agree. Um, I, in fact, you don't develop your talent till you work. So it's not some magical property you have. Your talent comes from your work.
That's something which is natural. Sir,
There is an inclination to some subjects. I mean, people might be good or something, but you need to build on it.
yeah. And sir, where do you see India chess going now? We have to talk about D. Gukesh, sir. You have mentored him, and suddenly there is a downward spiral. Is this the pressure of being a world champion? You have dealt it, sir. You reigned chess world for two decades, and you recently also performed very well in a tournament. I was following
Mhm.
your chess, sir. So how do you see D. Gukesh, and what kind of example of D. Gukesh you give to your students, sir?
And he's a phenomenal worker. In fact, in my book, I discuss moments when right after I became the world championship, about 6 months, became world champion. About 6 months later, I had a kind of crisis in my chess. These moments have occurred to me over the years, and you just have to be patient, keep doing your work, not expect that your work will produce the result because it's always hard to time it. But you keep at it, keep trying to improve, and then one day your luck changes, your results change. Um, and so while it's clear that his results recently have slipped, but I think this happens to many people. You have slumps, and it's a natural part of sport.
Brilliant, sir. I'm sure that Gukesh is going to benefit a lot from this book, like so many youngster players. How do you see the growth of chess in India, sir, now? We have at a time you were the first grandmaster, but now we have 80 plus grandmasters. Do you see us dominating the world chess?
I I think we will be an important nation. Let's put it that way. Um, at the top, we have Gukesh, Arjun, Prag by rating. I mean, and I think all of them. What this means is that India will have one or two top players in most of the big events. So almost every event, there's a reason to watch in that sense, because it moves all the time. Um, but subsequently, other nations are also working hard. There's incredible talent out there. If you look at Uzbekistan or Turkey or America, uh, there's a lot of challenge. Um, but India is definitely going to be one of the top chess playing countries.
So good to hear that, sir. And sir, do you travel around? Do you play simultaneous tournaments? So many youngsters here in Punjab. Actually, Punjabi players have also we not just play cricket and hockey and others. We have also got two international masters now in last year only, which was a big thing.
Mhm.
And both belong to Jalandhar. And then the students, when I ask them what question will you ask Anand sir, they're so eager to host you here, play some tournaments with the kids. Your whole persona, your physical presence would be a big inspiration. So I hope you travel around. Do you get time to travel around? And
Yes, quite. I travel around a lot promoting chess in different roles, different capacities, and certainly it's good to hear that Punjab chess is getting more popular. If you follow my schedule, I not only play, but I do a lot of things associated with the promotion of the game.
yes, sir, wonderful. And sir, how do you see?
And also see that, for instance, we have the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League now, and new events like this. These are very healthy for me.
And so yesterday was Women International Women Day, and we must
Mhm.
talk about the women chess also, sir. And
Sure.
we have some remarkable talent there also. What is your take on that, sir?
Yes, the Indian women's team has never looked better. Uh, and actually, it's at both ends. If you look at Koneru Hampi, she's still competing beautifully there. She's going to play in the candidates, and that's very nice. But then we have all this young talent. We have Vaishali, who's been around for a couple of years, and then we have Divya, who had a big breakthrough last year, um, and is doing quite well. She had a good result in Prague. She's ready. I think all our players are going to be very competitive in the candidates now. So lots to look forward to in the women's game.
Wonderful, sir. And sir, chess is now a youngster's game. We have grandmasters at 14, 15, from the age of 12 onwards also. So where is the hope for seniors like me? Can we return to the chess world now, or is it too late for us? This is a question from my chess
No,
group.
it's sure. It's never too late to think, but what you have to define what it is. I mean, one of the things I've concluded recently is that focusing on the World Championship doesn't make sense for me. It's better to uh, focus on one or two events, get joy from that. So even I approach chess in a different way than maybe 20 years ago. It's same for everyone. I think you can learn chess and enjoy it at any age. Um, but in most sports, the absolute top will be tend to be very young.
Absolutely, sir. So do you play chess daily now? Do you play online or do you play with some mates?
I look, follow, study chess almost daily, but um, I try to play as often as I can. Let's put it that way.
Remarkable, sir. You said you study chess, but you are the champion. What do you have to study?
Oh, there's always so much to study. There's so much chess happening that you have to keep track of everything also and understand new ideas, new concepts.
So that's a big lesson, sir. Despite being a world champion and producing world champions, you're still studying. And sir, I must get back to the book. And this
Mhm.
book is so inspiring that I had left chess 2, 3 years. I didn't play and just I logged on to my chess.com and other accounts and I played some online games. I'm sure
Mhm.
many kids will be inspired by you can by your book, and they will get back to chess and improve. Thanks a lot,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thanks a lot for giving us time as a Tribune reporter and from the Tribune family. I'm very, very grateful to that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.